Okay, last night I watched an excerpt from the Joe Rogan podcast experience. It was Mark Andreessen, who is a Silicon Valley venture capitalist, founder of the venture capitalist firm Horowitz, who was also instrumental in the creation of Netscape Navigator, and they were talking about the conspiracy theory that the nuclear video tests were faked. Let's just go straight into it.
The conspiracy theories. Okay, here's another conspiracy theory. You've seen all the grainy footage of nuclear test blasts that you've
Sure.
with the mushroom clouds, and there are always these grainy things, and there's all these like little houses lined up and these little trees lined up, and it blows everything down. Well, there's always been a conspiracy theory that those were all basically fabricated at this facility, that those bombs actually were never detonated, and that basically the U.S. military was.
Right, let's just pause it right there. Okay, so first of all, the way that Joe Rogan says, "Wow, whoa!" It's like a 3-year-old's just like discovered fucking sugar for the first time at a party, and there's also the implication behind that. I feel like there's a slight implication that because the footage was grainy, that it wasn't particularly authentic. I get that impression. I mean, maybe that's not what he was overtly saying, but I get that there's kind of a leeway into that conspiracy theory with that comment. So what did you expect the military to do? Take like $20,000 worth of Technicolor cameras in there with super 35 mil film into that kind of an environment where they didn't know what was going to happen with the cameras? Is that what they expected to? Is that what they thought the military should do? No. Okay, let's carry on. Let's carry on watching this drivel.
Was basically faking these bomb tests to freak out the Russians, to make us think that we had weapons. We had basically a potency to our nuclear weapon arsenal that we actually didn't have at the time.
How did they?
Right, sorry, I just got to pause it there. Just again. So, why would the military want to fake atomic bomb tests when there was clear evidence and clear usage of it during the Second World War? You know, the end of the Second World War was shortened, etc. There was clear photographic and video evidence and surveillance footage and documentation and people that experienced it talking about experiences. There was clear medical evidence of people in Japan getting increases in cancer around the area, being treated in medical centres for horrendous burns and radiation sickness. All this was going on, clearly visible to the world, yet in 1951, when the nuclear tests started in Nevada, the nuclear military had to fake these. I mean, an idiot could probably argue that it was for budget constraints, but this is coming from a person, Joe Rogan, who is a former believer in the conspiracy theory. The conspiracy theory that I think it was that Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landings. Okay, let's carry on.
Fake it.
They just did. Yeah, exactly.
So this is
exactly.
it.
Well, so there's a yeah. Okay, so here's a question, right? So what happened? Okay, so this is great. Okay, you'll love this. So what happened to the camera?
You son of a bitch.
Right, let's pause it again. I'll tell you what happened to the camera. Nothing happened to the fucking camera because it was 1 or 2 miles away. Some of the cameras were in nuclear bunkers, like peeping out the top with lead line protection. And some of the cameras were on towers away from the height of the blast zone, and they were also using telephoto lenses. And yes, they did have telephoto lenses, the technology of photo lenses in the 1950s. It was quite a fairly advanced stage at that point, considering that they were invented in like 1902 and they'd had like 40 years worth of research going to this technology. I'm not talking about the quality of the cameras that they used. Clearly they used mediocre cameras, but you can still attach an extremely good telephoto lens, and that's what they did. So that's what happened to the fucking cameras. Nothing happened to the cameras because they were a long distance away, had protection. protection on them. Let's move on.
You son of a bitch. What
How is that happening yet the camera's like totally stable and fine?
Hey.
Oh my god.
And by the way, in the film is fine. The radiation didn't cause any damage to the film.
Right, okay, let's pause. Let's just pause it there again. Okay. Do you think that the people that were filming it were not advised by the scientists, Oppenheimer and such, that have worked on the project for 15 years, that potentially radiation may damage the film footage? Do you not think that they may have taken precautions, for example, like, I don't know, lead lining the filming case to protect against that, along with lining the camera as well with lead, and also putting it in a bunker, and also it was miles away, and also it was zoomed in? I mean, it's just a thought. King hell. Yeah, let's carry on.
Oh my god.
This looks like how you shoot.
And by the way, okay, we'll
like,
do this one. We'll do the loop one more time here. Let's see the car.
The car's right behind the house. It just showed up.
Oh,
Okay,
it just showed up.
So wait a minute. First of all,
wasn't there.
First of all, where'd the car
No
come
car.
from?
Yeah.
No car.
Second is, does it really look like
Car.
a real, does that look like a real car?
That's insane.
And look at the and look at when the house blows. Look at the wood. Does that look like those are full size, like, giant lumber beams as they go flying?
Yeah, so I've got to pause it again there. So first of all, they're trying to make the point that the car disappears, right? They're saying that the car just instantly disappears. And of course the fucking car instantly disappears for one of two reasons. First of all, the blast zone has a force of like fucking at least 5 to 10 hurricanes. So anything that's not nailed down is instantly going to fucking disappear, isn't it? I mean, why would a 1950s car, I don't know, made out of fucking tin or aluminium? I don't know what bloody cars are made out of. I probably should have looked that up, but I don't care. Point still remains. Why would a car that was made out of thinnish material not just disappear? If a hurricane can instantly make a car disappear, then why could a nuclear blast not do the same? Secondly, if you look at the footage, it looks like there's been an edit in there, potentially. I think it's a jump cut edit. So it doesn't go straight to the, so it's either one of those two reasons, but they're both interlinked. Let's carry on.
Yep.
That's
Is
hard to say.
Is that a house, or is that like is that a 12-inch scale model?
What?
Right. So like
The fucking car.
Oh, God. Right. Sorry. I've got to pause it again. Right. This guy who was instrumental in the creation of the internet's earliest browser, and Joe Rogan watching him, are saying, is this a 12-inch model? And the answer to that is no. It's not a fucking 12-inch model. It's a fucking full-scale fucking house that the fucking military built. They put it in there to test what would happen in a model town with a fucking wooden houses, which is like the standard of what they build. So they put different types of fucking houses in there. Why in the fucking God's green earth would they bother with tiny little fucking houses? No. And were those real wood beams? Were those? Yes, they were wood beams. And as previously alluded and stated to, of course the footage looks grainy because they're not going to use the best quality cameras in a fucking nuclear fucking blast site. And it wasn't about the effects. The cameras were sufficient enough to show what the effects were. That was the whole idea. That was the whole point of the film and the filming of the test. Right, let's carry on.
Anyway, I don't know. Like, I have no idea. Having said that, if that was fake, it was faked at Lookout Mountain.
Wow.
Right, at the exact same place and time.
But did they have the kind of special effects to do something like that in the 40s?
Well, so the full conspiracy theory is it was Stanley Kubrick. which again, I have no idea.
Boy, that does look fake.
Yeah.
He says, I have no idea. That's probably the most sensible thing that is actually said in this whole clip. And Joe Rogan just like, gobsmacked, like a chimp that's discovered fire. Again, a man who, until recently, believed that the moon landings were faked by Stanley Kubrick. Let's carry on.
But also the camera didn't move at all either.
You know what it looks like? Go back to that real quick. It looks like the smoke is too big. Watch when it hits. Like the volume, like the size of it, it looks small.
I mean, you've seen.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it looks like we're looking at something that's like a few inches tall.
Well, so if you watch like making of Star Wars, any movies before CG.
Sorry, so just got to pause it there again. So first of all, he says the smoke looks too big. He just realised, right, that he's looking at the f***ing Nevada desert. Okay, it's a f***ing sandstorm, right? It's a f***ing sandstorm filmed on probably a mediocre camera at the time. Not the best technology that we're talking about, and the smoke looks too f***ing big, is what he's saying, which obviously means that it's a 12-inch scale f***ing model, and someone's just stood there having a f***ing cigarette, blowing it into it, or I don't know, they've got a f***ing mini smoke machine making smoke just the right f***ing size to look like a f***ing sandstorm. Sorry, let's carry on.
GI, whenever they do anything like that, it's always with these tiny models.
Yes.
And they just basically, what they do is they slow it down and then they add sound.
Yeah, this looks fake as shit.
Right.
Sorry, no, sorry. It does not look fake. Those are exactly the fucking results that you would get if you filmed a nuclear explosion from a mile away with a very high zoom telephoto lens. That's exactly what you would expect to see with 1950s film. I mean, let's carry on.
Clouds just don't look realistic.
Right.
Like it looks like they're too big and they move too quickly back and forth.
Let's get another one. It's like, okay, what camera's fine.
That's hilarious.
Oh, there's a good. Yeah, here we go.
It is hilarious, but it's not hilarious for the reason that you're saying it's hilarious. It's f***ing hilarious because you can't even use your f***ing brain, quite frankly. Let's carry on.
Okay, there maybe the camera got. Okay, but even still, the camera got knocked over and not destroyed.
Is there some sort of a response to that? Have they come with some sort of an explanation?
Sorry, so let's just go back there. Sorry, 1 second. So they're saying here.
But even still, yeah, here we go. Okay, there maybe the camera got. Okay, but even still, the camera got knocked over and not destroyed.
Hang on a second. Sorry. Of course, the camera got knocked over. It was in a house, and how can you say the camera wasn't destroyed? The film footage, it went black, right? Obviously, the camera has been annihilated or destroyed at that point. So, did they expect to see static like on a old television? Is that what they're expecting? Let's carry on. I don't think the editors would have just completely cut it at that point anyway. It would look I don't know. No, the camera was quite clearly f***ed, and yes, it did fall over, but it was f***ed. And I'd tell you what, I'd take that camera out of that nuclear test site in the middle of that house and try filming on it, and tell me that it isn't destroyed. Yeah. That's my response to that. Let's go back.
Destroyed.
Is there some sort of a response to that? Have they come with some sort of an explanation?
Sorry, an explanation for what? So he's basically asking, has the military come out for an explanation on why the nuclear testing videos were faked when they weren't faked? I think the answer to that is pretty fucking clear, isn't it? No, they haven't come out with a fucking explanation for why the fucking footage was faked when it wasn't faked. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's like the 9/11 conspiracists coming out and saying, it's quite obvious that 9/11 never happened. And that was one of the other points as well that I wanted to make. People stood there and watched these nuclear tests. Soldiers stood there. The soldiers built the houses. The people in the houses, the people around the houses watched these soldiers build these construction sites and watched there. People were stood there watching the fucking bombs going off. People living there got cancer. The soldiers got 10 times the rate of normal thyroid cancer than people living in the area normally would. You know, it was in the newspapers. It was in the press. I mean, obviously they used that footage, but it'd be pretty fucking hard to fake something like that when people saw it and people were stood there and people were watching it, and there was budget allocation put to that exact purpose. I mean, Christ, let's just watch the last few seconds. I think it's nearly over.
Not that I know of.
That seems so vague.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who can tell?
Entire swamp.
So, whoops, didn't mean to play that. So, obviously, it's not fake. It is not fake. It's fucking real, you morons. I suspect that that Mark Andreessen is probably humouring him with it. But it does come across as watching two hamsters running around in a wheel, only with less intelligence, quite frankly. Anyway, that's me done, and I will do another reaction video soon. Thanks for watching.